Hi, I'm Zara Griswold. I'm here from Family Source Consultants. Myself and Stacy Swiderski here are the co-founders of the agency. We have been here for about 12 and a half years now, and our headquarter office is here in downtown Chicago. We have some other locations as well. Sounds like a lot of people here are mostly from the Midwest, so. Yeah, so we have been participating in Men Having Babies for a long time now, going on 10 years. Yep, and we are a surrogacy and egg donor agency, so we handle both. If you decided to work with us on both ends, that would be great, and we would facilitate both processes. If you happen to find an egg donor elsewhere, that's okay. We can still work with you on the surrogacy end, and we would do everything as normal. So that's a little bit about us. I'm sure Stacy probably wants to.
Oh, same thing that you said. Yeah. So yeah, we're located over in the Willis Tower, so we're very close to here. Is everybody from Chicago? Yeah, mainly. Yeah, because they said there was a lot of people from the Midwest coming here. So yeah, so basically we facilitate the process from the time that you contact us until, of course, after the baby's born. So you need Fertility Center recommendations, attorney recommendations. That's what we're here for. And then, of course, to match you and to facilitate your entire process until baby and after baby. So does anybody have any questions to start off? It's always easier with questions. Somebody's got to have a question. Make one up. Somebody else.
Okay. Sorry, you want to talk a little bit about the sort of the processes of it? So I know you're meeting a lot of people today and getting all sorts of information thrown at you, but if you want some more information about our agency and you want to start communications with us, we can take your email and such. We have at our booth, we can take that and send it to you, or if you want to contact us, but we would email you our intended parent paperwork, and then if you would like to have an in-person consultation here at our office, or a telephone call, Skype, Zoom, but then we would have a more thorough consultation with you directly to go over everything in more detail. And then, from there, if you decide to proceed and you do sign up with us, we will be in contact with you regarding potential surrogate matches until you do match. So, and then you transition to, we have a case manager that will be with you throughout the entire process and guide you along from one step to the next.
The matching process, the matching process, it's such a delicate process, of course. It's mutual matching with yourselves and your surrogate. So typically what most intended parents will do is once you sign up with the agency, it's about a 3 to 5 month or so wait to be matched with a surrogate. During that downtime is a good time to get established with your fertility center, select your egg donor, and then get started with creating your embryos. And then usually by the time you have your embryos created, then you should be matched with your surrogate or close to be matched with your surrogate. Yep.
How does the process work? How do you match people that?
Yeah, it's a good question. So since it is a mutual matching process, we look at 4 or 5 really important criteria to really get started. Some of those may be, how many embryos do you want to transfer? Are you looking to transfer a single embryo transfer or double embryo transfer? So that's really important because not all surrogates are open to carrying twins or transferring to. If it were to split, of course they're going to carry twins, but not going into it to carry twins. So that's one of the important matching criteria. Another would be location of your surrogate. Do you have a specific location in mind that you're hoping to find a surrogate, or are you open to a variety of states? So we'll look at that as well. Obviously there are insurance. Are you only interested in matching with a surrogate who has insurance, or are you open to purchasing insurance? So that's important to know as well. Yep. And then the overall relationship. How much communication do you want to have with your surrogate? So that's really important. Are you wanting to be super involved, or minimal, or none at all? We see a little bit of everything. So that's super important. We want to make sure that everybody's expectations are met going into it. So we're only going to share those profiles with you of surrogates who could be a potential match mutually. Yeah. Sure.
If the first step is dealing with the fertility clinic, how do you guys come in with that? Like, do you, as in, like, don't...
We can, like to recommend fertility centers to you? Yeah, if you let us know if you're looking, say, for example, for a fertility center here in Chicago. We work with some fertility centers here that are amazing, have great success rates. We can connect you, we can share their information with you, or we can introduce you to them as well. And then they would take over from, with all the medical piece from there. Some fertility centers have their own egg donor program. Some don't, so that may be something you want to look into. And if they do, and you don't see a donor in their program, you can work with one of ours or somewhere else, or vice versa. So, yep. And so they'll work with you on all the medical aspect of that.
I kind of heard two different recommendations. Is it starting with the clinic and then the servicing agency, or starting with the servicing?
We see a little bit of everything. However, when you know you're ready to get started, and this is something you definitely are ready to do, because of the wait time to be matched with a surrogate, is most intended parents, a lot of times they will sign up with the agency first, just because you're waiting at that point to be matched. And then at that point, get started with the fertility center and get started with the creation of your embryos. Yeah, that way you don't have downtime, because if you have embryos and then you sign up with the agency, then you're just kind of waiting to be matched with your,
Embryo's frozen.
yeah, then they're just kind of sitting there, yeah.
And it's not so important that you guys are physically located where the clinic is, but
Not at all.
they were saying that it's, I guess, to minimize the travel costs, that the surrogate be maybe close to the clinic.
I mean, some intended parents prefer that, but as far as the cost, I don't think that makes a difference at all, because each surrogate's going to be different. You could have a surrogate who is in another state, but maybe she has amazing insurance, so you're going to, cut, because travel is sometimes pretty inexpensive. And the surrogate only has to travel twice, typically, to your fertility center. Once for the initial medical screening, and then back, of course, for the embryo transfer. So we locate a fertility center near her for any of the outside monitoring. So the fertility centers make it pretty easy as well for the surrogates travel.
The manager that you're working with will assist with the travel arrangements with your surrogate. And
Yeah, we take care of all that.
Yeah, we'll handle all that.
Right, right. So yeah, I mean, of course, if you happen to be matched with a surrogate that's close to your fertility center, that's great. That's great. So you won't have those costs, but I certainly wouldn't base it on financials over that. I would really, most importantly, work with a fertility center who you really like. And there's many great ones right here in Chicago, if that's, if you want to find
And same
somebody
on the
local.
surrogate end, it's way more important that you're working with a surrogate who's the best match for you. And if she has to travel, a couple of states over, 2-hour flight or whatever.
With all the technology we have, there's so much
Yeah.
communication that can be done.
What is the clinic that you work with the most, from a number perspective, number of time, just as stats, not necessarily the quality,
Fertility center, here in Chicago.
overall, your agency?
Oh, you're going to put me on the spot. You can't do that. You can't do that.
You got to go the secret path to get that
Yeah,
information.
they all,
Some of
we'll
them
put
are
it this way,
here.
the fertility,
Yeah.
oh, geez. Well, at least you're one that I would say.
We work with Fertility Centers of Illinois here in Chicago.
Yeah, we've been working with them for
They're
over
one
12
of
years.
them. And there's other clinics here in Chicago that are here at the, so.
And we're not just saying that.
Yeah, we're not just.
Yeah, they're definitely,
Yeah, but we will definitely guide you with that information too,
And and so some intended parents may say they want to work, with a fertility center in another part of, the United States and East Coast, and then we would, guide you that way. But if you want, hey, can you send me I can't send you one because there's so many that have really equal success rates. They're all great. But we would never recommend one that doesn't. Yeah. Yeah.
If your intended journey is one embryo, single embryo transfer, and it splits,
Yeah.
how does that affect the rest of the process?
Right. So financially, you would have a multiple fee. The surrogate receives a multiple fee. That's $5,000. But really, other than that, it's at that point, it's identical twins. And like I said, if we match you with a surrogate who is only open to a single embryo transfer, but it does split, then of course they're willing to carry the twins. Yeah. Yeah.
Level of support that you provide change to help someone cope with surprise or
If she needs additional support elsewhere, however that may be, we'll certainly facilitate that. But that is a good point, actually. You brought that up, the support group. Yeah, we have an amazing support group at our agency for all the surrogates. We have support groups in Texas, Chicago, here, and then Florida. And it's once a month. And the surrogates there's usually between like 15 to 20 that actually make it, that can make it. But yeah, it's every month, and they get together. We purchase their dinner for them, and it's just a really good opportunity for them to have that support as well. We also have an online support group as well that's private for all the surrogates in our program, so throughout the United States, and it's a really great support for.
Group coordinator, the leader of the group herself, directly reaches out to every surrogate throughout the process, in addition to your case manager working with her.
Right.
So, she has
Tremendous
yeah.
amount of support for sure, yeah. And she's also been a surrogate as well. Her name is Denise, so she's the surrogate support group manager, and she's a mother of twin girls through egg donation, so she's kind of been on both sides of it. So yeah, she's been with us for, going on 6 years now. Yeah. Yeah.
How large is your guys' egg donation program? And compared to some fertility clinics that have small ones, and are your donors pre-screened, or is that part of the process? After you select that donor?
Right, that's the difference with our egg donor program and say fertility centers, because the fertility center has, they can pre-screen them, they can run the labs on them. So ours aren't necessarily pre-screened that way. That's what the fertility center will do. But we typically have anywhere between 120 to 140 donors in our program. And if they're in cycle, it'll mention that. It'll state that they're in cycle, so you will know. Yeah. Any other questions? Yes.
Do you match mostly surrogates with insurance that cover surrogacy, or you see that in the last year, most surrogates, they don't have insurance that covers?
Yeah, we actually just had a big staff meeting over this, so I have the percentage on that. It was, I want to say 64. What would you say?
60-40.
Oh, I said 64, and you said 60-40. I'm like, wow, we're on it. Yes, it was actually 64 percent of the of the surrogates who had insurance, and that of course is, like I said, it's a matching criteria. If you want a surrogate who has insurance, then we're only going to share those profiles with you. If you're open to purchasing it, then obviously again that opens up, more availability for the surrogates.
That's another topic that our agency is just very knowledgeable about, is the whole insurance thing. So yeah, we will definitely be able to tell you what your options are if you went that route. Yeah.
Right.
Are there any other benefits aside from timing associated with getting a surrogate that doesn't have insurance? I assume that it takes more time to find a surrogate that has insurance, because everybody would want that.
Right. Everybody would jump at that.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
is there any other benefit aside from timing associated with
Not
accepting a
necessarily.
surrogate?
Yeah, not necessarily. It just speeds up your matching. Not all the time though.
I mean, it can be less expensive than purchasing a policy, to use the surrogate's insurance, but not necessarily either. So
It just really depends on her coverage,
Yeah.
her out-of-pocket
It's- timing
max,
is really
or
the only thing that separates.
So getting a surrogate that has insurance doesn't necessarily mean that you would pay less.
not all the time. It really just depends. And that's one thing that you will have when we share a profile with you. You'll know exactly what her coverage is. It'll be listed on her profile. So you'll know what her out-of-pocket max is, what are her copays, her deductibles. You'll have all that information at hand. Yeah. Yeah, so, and again, her insurance will go into place once she's released from your fertility center and meeting with her OB, and that's when her insurance would then take over. Yeah, and then like I said, you'd be responsible for any of the copays and deductibles. Any other, I know am I, okay, sure.
You mentioned a 3 to 5 month waiting period for surrogacy match. What about for parents and surrogates willing to do twin pregnancy?
The same.
It's about the same. Yeah, it's about the same because it really kind of averages out because we have a lot of intended parents who are only transferring one. So we look at that, of course, to speed up the matching.
As a point of curiosity, females that are gestational carriers, are they working usually just with one agency, or are they working with multiple and potentially matching?
No, they what they will do, because they're matched so quickly, so they're not really waiting like the intended parents are, but they will interview a lot of agencies before they decide ultimately which agency they want to work with. Yeah. You gonna wrap it up? Yep. Okay. But if anybody has any questions, we have our booth out there. Stop by, contact us, and I can set up a consultation with you guys.
Don't already have a bag. We
Yeah.
have plenty
Take
here
them,
for you.
please.